All right, perfect. Let me check. So we're going to start going live in 1 second. Let me just check the link over here. Okay. Okay, so we are live now. We just need to send the link over here. Let's just wait 1 minute so people can start joining. And we can begin. Perfect. People are connecting now. Okay, perfect. Let's just wait 2 more minutes so people can reconnect to the link. Hi, everybody. Sorry, we took a little while, but it was some technical issues. Well, okay. Okay, perfect. People are connecting. Let's just give it 1 more minute and we'll begin. All right, then welcome everybody. We'll wait for people to keep coming in, but we're going to begin the webinar for the sake of time. We're really sorry about the technical issues that we had, but we're finally here. So we want to welcome you all to the Y&Y webinar series. Before we begin, I want to introduce you about Yunus and Youth. We are an international organization that supports social entrepreneurs with capacity building, mentoring, networking, and access to global opportunities. And Y&Y was founded in 2014 with the support of Nobel Peace Prize laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus to connect global social business entrepreneurs with business experts to build successful and financially sustainable solutions to address the world's most pressing needs. Yunus and Youth has impacted over 4,500 youth in over 65 countries with its personalized business, social business training. Today, as part of our Y&Y webinar series, we're going to be discussing about the role of social entrepreneurship to build a sustainable future. For this, our Y&Y fellows, as you can see, are joining us from around the world to discuss their perspective on this issue and help us reflect on what we can and want to do for our future as youth and also as social entrepreneurs. First of all, I want to introduce to Lais, who will be our moderator. She was also a fellow of us. So she graduated in business administration from the University of Sao Paulo in Brazil with a double degree at the Ketch Business School of France. Lais has already experience at the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. She was the ambassador of the Brazil conference at Harvard and MIT in 2016. Hanson Summer Institute Fellow in 2017. She was our Yunus Youth Fellow in 2018. And she was the finalist for the Fola de Sao Paulo in 2019 for the Social Entrepreneur Award. In 2015, she founded the Sao Paulo team of Litro de Luz, which brings solar lighting to the communities without adequate access to electricity. And in 2016, she assumed the presidency of the organization in Brazil. So we want to welcome her and welcome the rest of the fellows as well. So I give it to you, Lai, so we can start the webinar, and welcome everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Carolina, and thank you, Yunus and Youth, for inviting us for this panel. I'm really excited to be here. As Carolina said, I'm also a Yunus and Youth Fellow and a social entrepreneur, so it's a topic, a theme that is very present in my life, and I'm very passionate about it. And I'm really inspired to be talking to these other social entrepreneurs here. I had a chance to read a little bit about their background, and it's really amazing. I know this talk will be really interesting for everyone. And without further ado, I would like to start getting to know more about our panelists here. So I wanted to ask you guys to introduce yourselves, to say how you ended up being a social entrepreneur, what is the organization that you run, and what are your thoughts about the importance of social entrepreneurship for a more sustainable future. And as we are like, we have 4 panelists here, I wanted to ask if we can go like in alphabetical order, maybe Andrea, then Madhav, Maria, and then Omar. Is it okay? Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea. I'm from Mexico, and I'm the founder of Maria Josefina, where we focus in promoting economic empowerment of women who live in poverty and who face domestic violence. So my journey as a social entrepreneur started, I'm gonna show you, with these flowers. These flowers were made by Josefina, a woman who moved to this city where I live with her whole family as a way to improve their life quality. And when she arrived to this city, she started looking for a job, but she couldn't find any. No one would hire her because she didn't have any experience. She was lacking of good level of education and all of other things that people didn't want to work with her. So Josefina is a talented woman, and as an alternative to earn more income, she started to knit these flowers, and she tried to sell them in the streets with the help of her kids. And that's how I met her. And back then, all I could think was that her product was so good, and Josefina's urgency to earn money to eat didn't allow her to realize the value of her product. So I decided to commit to help her so that instead of selling each flower in less than $1, she could sell them for a price like 5 times higher at least. So we were able to sell more than 100 flowers between like 2 months, and Josefina's life quality was improved, and it was made through her own talents. I didn't teach her anything. So that was like a key moment in my life where when I decided to start Maria Josefina, because I didn't want any more talented woman living in poverty. And this experience kept me thinking, like, how many other talented women in Mexico are in the same situation as Josefina? So that's the beginning of my whole journey.
That's great, Andrea. Madhav?
Sure. So, hi, I'm Madhav from India, and I founded Green the Gene, which is an environmental nonprofit. I'll share a little bit about how I started on this social entrepreneurship journey. So, back when I was in third grade, so 8 years old, we had this mandatory environmental science class in school. And the only thing that I remember from that class was when our teacher told us that, in the state in India where I grew up, the water table was falling by almost 2 feet every year. Now, remember, I was 8 years old. I didn't really understand the significance of that, or I didn't really understand what that meant. But I realized that that would just make it harder for people that I know to get access to water. And for me, this fact very suddenly converted the abstract idea of sustainable development into a very real problem that affected, communities and people that I knew. This realization inspired me to start Green the Gene as a very small environmental club in school. We started super simple. We planted like 6 trees right outside our schoolyard. Over the years, we've expanded quite a bit. Today, we are very focused on pioneering extremely low cost technology and data driven solutions to help local communities in acute environmental crisis situations across the world. We operate in 62 countries with about 7,000 young volunteers at this point. And some of our most impactful projects are focused on helping people get access to safe and usable water using these very small water filtration devices that we invented. We've been able to help about 40,000 people in Tanzania with these devices and are sort of working to expand them to multiple other geographies. Um,
Great. Maria, you can go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marimar. I'm from Colombia, and I am the founder of Soy Oportunidad Foundation. I wanted to show you the reason why I started this organization, but it's still sleeping. It's very early in Colombia. And yes, as you can see, as you can imagine, I am a very young mother. I was pregnant when I was 17 years old. So you can imagine. But this situation, among of the many things that happened before, after this situation made me realize that there are a lot of women in my country and around the world, of course, that in the moment that they become pregnant, it's like a punishment, from life, because they have to stop every single opportunity they thought they had for their future. So they are not able to continue studying, they are not able to continue working, and I just make like a stop in my life, and I thought this is not going to be the reality for the mothers if I am alive, you know. Um, that's why I created this foundation, and we are creating now job training and life projection programs for these mothers. They are very vulnerable mothers, and most of them are single mothers, and a lot of them are very young mothers. So you can imagine the situation that we have to live with them. And we are working now to change their mind, to change the way they see their future, because we want them to see that they can do a lot of things if just we can provide a little help to make them start working and have a better life with their children. And I wanted to say something because we were thinking about the importance of social entrepreneurship. And I think I have to resume in just one word, and it's example. We have to show example from our work, because it's not only about social entrepreneurs, just like us, to show that we have to think about all of our stakeholders, not just our clients or our employees. We have to think about society as well. And if you can see, coronavirus changed everything we were thinking about what an enterprise should be and how our reality should be. And I think that we need to show example with the way we're working with our stakeholders, with our society. And I think that should be the most important thing that we as social entrepreneurs should show for to have a more sustainable future.
Excellent. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you. It's my turn. Hello, I'm Omar Asaf. I'm a co-founder of Shift Social Innovation Hub. I started as a social entrepreneur for Shift Social Innovation, as a founder for Shift Social Innovation Hub in 2015. Our city, my home city, faced a huge conflict between two sectarian communities between 2008 and 2014. This put the city and those areas into very catastrophic situation where a lot of thousands of injured, a lot of death between those two areas, a lot of economic deterioration situation, businesses closed, and so on. So in 2015, the Lebanese army and the Lebanese government decided to do a security plan for the city to stop the conflict. After 1 year, we decided to intervene and support the communities there in those two areas. So we create Shift as a social innovation hub, exactly on the front line between those communities where they were fighting each other. So Shift is a social innovation hub where it's leading the transformation of post-conflict and marginalized communities toward a peaceful and prosperous area. Right now, after 5 years, we have 3 main programs that we are working on. A business development program where we support businesses on business training, coaching, and in-kind grants, networking events and other activities to support them as well. The second program is supporting youth for a job placement. So we give them soft skills, vocational training, and apprenticeship so they can, we link them to the market and to find a job in their career. The third program is a peace building and reconciliation program, where we support committees within the area to solve the problems and the issues that might cause conflict, or previously they were an issue and a trigger for a conflict. Our center grown from 1 floor to 9 floors now, including multiple facilities such as a media lab, a craft lab, kitchen lab, a digital lab, as well other facilities such as cultural activities like a cafe and open space, a cinema on the roof, and a business center where the youth or the small initiatives can benefit from this center to be able to start their initiative and their businesses. So this is in a nutshell our social shift, social innovation hub. But the importance of the social entrepreneurship for more sustainable future, in my opinion, as a social entrepreneur, is my mission is to make the world a better place for living, for us and for the community around us, by doing a responsible and responsive business to create economic and the social value in the same time. Not only by doing a business, but as well in responding to the customer's need as well. So in combining all those aspects, we are definitely, as a social entrepreneurs, doing the world or making the world a better place. Thank you.
It's great. Thank you, Omar. And talking about that, Madhab, I think actually Maria said about the importance of organizations to rethink about our impact to all stakeholders, right? And Omar also talked about this role that we have to make the world a better place, but at the same time to make economy grow. And I want, in your opinion, because I think you had you have experience, right, with social and environmental impact. And many times when we see debates about this or we see things in our daily lives, they seem like contradictory. And I wanted to know, in your opinion, if you think there is a balance between, economic growth and environmental care and also social inclusion. And if you think that, how can social entrepreneurship, help with this, if you think there is?
Awesome, thanks, Liz. That's actually a very interesting question. And I think fundamentally, social entrepreneurship is an incredible way to sort of balance those different aspects. So fundamentally, I don't believe that economic growth or economic sustainability and environmental sustainability have to be contradictory. And over the years, we've seen, even in the private sector, even outside the social entrepreneurship space, a lot of effort being put to sort of bring them together, to sort of build businesses that are thoughtful, and that think about a broader scale of impact than just financial implications that they achieve, right? And as social entrepreneurs, that is even more pronounced and more important for us. For us, I think it is very important to be able to harness the power of business to build something that is definitely financially sustainable, but also is very focused on being able to drive that social good for the communities that we want to target, and to be able to drive environmental impact that we're looking at. I'll give you an example here. So for example, the nonprofit that I founded, to a large extent, is driven by philanthropic donations. Many of our projects are driven by philanthropic donations. Now, that means that we function more as a traditional charity, where we have to sort of, every time our ability to drive impact is sort of limited by the amount of funds that we can raise, right? Whereas as a social entrepreneur, if you're in a financially stable business model, you're able to leverage that, and sort of scale your impact to a more broader community and to a greater number of people. So I think, as Marie also mentioned earlier, It's an incredible approach and a way to balance out both economic sustainability as well as social impact.
Great. Yeah, that's really, really nice reflection. And talking still about how we can increase our impact, Andrea and Maria, I think you both have a really nice work with women empowerment. I was very inspired when I saw your bios. Yeah. And I wanted to know, in your opinion, that you girls are like in the working daily basis with that. So what are the opportunities and challenges that you face and see today for social entrepreneurship to grow and therefore to achieve a higher impact, especially in gender inclusion, in your opinion?
Okay, so I can start. Well, especially in Mexico, social entrepreneurship is growing. 2 or 3 years ago, when you described yourself as a social entrepreneur, people would ask you, what is that? So it was strange to describe yourself as that. But nowadays, we have access to a lot of investment, and corporations are interested in cooperating with social entrepreneurs to create a higher impact. However, in terms of gender inclusion, we are facing, I think that we have two big challenges. The first one is investment, because it is well known that it is less probable that we as women can attract as much investment as a man. And many social businesses who focus in generating positive impact for women are run by women. So how can we grow our impact if we need to work harder to get investment? And I think that we must understand that women are good managing money. We are good. And giving money to women isn't charity. I mean, we have to see this as an investment, because women have a multiplier effect where empowered women will empower other people too. So I think that that's the first challenge. And the second one, I think that social entrepreneurs who are working with women are facing like the pandemic effects are, in terms of violence, are huge. In my country, domestic violence reports grew faster than ever. During this pandemic, every hour we receive more than 100 calls to 911 asking for help, because women feel they are in danger at home. So I believe that it is urgent to stop this problem, and I firmly believe that the best way we can tackle this is by building alliances through organizations, so that our help can get to every woman that is living in this situation.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. I'm going to tell you something about my experience, because you're going to laugh about this, but I found a great opportunity because of this coronavirus. I know coronavirus has brought to us, to the world actually, a lot of poverty, unemployment, deaths, illness. But I think it also brought to us new opportunities to think about new ideas on how we can change the world, as I was telling you before. The biggest opportunity from this coronavirus is I have the opportunity to change, to evolve. Before coronavirus, we were training our mother in, they needed to come here to our foundation, and they had to bring their babies. But of course, there were a lot of problems because of this. My baby's sick, I can't go there. I don't have money to move from one place to another. I don't have enough volunteers that can take their time and use their time to move from one place to another. I live in Bogota, in one of the cities with the worst traffic in the world. So you can imagine. When this started, when quarantine started here in Colombia, I was so frustrated, because I was thinking, okay, this is the end of what I was doing. I can't do anything else. We can't move from one place to another. They can't come here. I can't go there. But these months made me realize, no. There is one opportunity, and I have a new ally. This is my new best friend, and it's called technology. And I think, like in countries like mine, we still see technology as this big, super. I can't reach this, but it's not like that at all. You know, I think that the technology is the best opportunity we have now to evolve our social entrepreneurship causes. And the biggest challenge, I want to share with you a beautiful sentence that we have been saying a lot in Colombia because of a lot of things that have been happening here, not only with coronavirus, but even before of this. And I'm trying to translate this sentence. Please let me know if you get the idea, okay? And it's, may the privilege not cloud your empathy with others. Is it clear? I hope it's clear. And it's that, that's the biggest challenge for me and for me as a social entrepreneur, because sometimes we are thinking about our own problems and we are thinking about, I have to continue working. I need a job. I need my car. Oh my God, I can't go to have my holidays somewhere else. Those are biggest problems for a lot of people, but they are not thinking about the real problem, the unemployment, the poverty, mothers that have to choose between food for them or food for the babies. I think that's the biggest challenge, and that I think that's the status quo that we need to change. We as social entrepreneurs, we need to think about new ways to make people realize, and I know we're doing it now. I know that. I'm sure of that. But there's still a long way to go, because as I can say that a lot of people are helping. My God, there is still a lot of people who are thinking in just, I can't go to the beach this year because of coronavirus, because I can't move. That's the biggest thing I think we have to change now.
Really, really great thoughts, Maria. And just to add, I think, we as social entrepreneurships, we have this kind of role, I think, to show the inequalities to people, and especially to make that call for change, but not any change, but a change that it's very with a lot of empathy, as you said, and listening to the people who are actually suffering from the problem, right? Because I think we often, here also in Brazil, we see people trying to help, but not really listening, and I think we can't get anywhere if we don't really understand the problem first. And then now I wanted to jump into Omar. We had really really interesting ideas here. Maria said about the opportunity that we have now to change, and Andrea said about the alliances to other organizations as a way to do that, right? To have a higher impact. And Omar, I think you had an interesting background because you have very different experiences, and also in the private sector, right? And I saw there was maybe an agency also that you work at. So I wanted to know how do you think should social entrepreneurs interact with the public and private sector to increase and to optimize the social and environmental impact?
Thank you, Leas, for this question. Basically, yes, I shifted from the private sector more into working with what's called the third sector, or NGOs, or international NGOs, and then to start the social business. If you want to put it on a scale, so as a social entrepreneur, we are in the middle between the charity on the right, or the business on the left, so we are exactly on the middle, combining those two models in one model, taking into consideration that we want to do a business, we want to make a profit, at the same time we want to have impact on the community. So this new model, or this model is what's called right now the social business, and how we can make it. In relevance, how the public or the private sector they think. Let's talk about that. So those two sectors, they are a bit different on how they are doing this business, and then they are different on how a social entrepreneur is doing this business. The private sector, their purpose is to make more money, more profit, how to make this profit into their business, and this is the main goal for a private company or private sector. On the other hand, before going to the public sector, sometimes the private companies, they do not take into consideration the effect that they are causing for the community or for the environment. Their purpose is their main goal, their focus, it's mainly on how to get more money and how to generate profit for their stakeholders. So this could make them blind on what are the effect or the negative impact of their businesses on the community or the environment, which is make it a bit different of how the social entrepreneur is the way of thinking. On the other hand, the public sector, they were following the processes, the policies that it's already there, and how they want to have impact on the community. They are serving the community at the end as a public sector. But because the public sector is a big organizations in a way or another, or they have this bureaucracy. So, and in some countries we are facing a lot of corruption in the public sector. It's a bit different, and it's affecting negatively as well the community by the slowness of doing the processes, or the impact they need to do it, or by the corruption or the huge corruption in some cases. So as a social entrepreneur, in my opinion, we are entrepreneurs, we are agile, we can do direct impact, we can do direct implementation of things, and we can interact differently toward the community, and how we can serve the community in a very fast way and in a very positive way that can affect the community. But in my opinion as well, we can't neglect those two sectors. Those two sectors, they are there. We need to intervene, we need to interact with them in different ways. In my opinion, we can have different level on the interaction with them. First of all, we can do awareness. So we can do awareness for the people who are working in those sectors on how they are affecting negatively, and how they can change their behavior or change their policies to make it more positively or more impactful for the community. And by doing this awareness, people they definitely, or people who are working in those sectors, they can interact, and they can do the impact more and more for the community when they know more if they are doing the negative impact for their community. On the second note, the social entrepreneurs can shed light on some problems that those sectors, the public or the private, are not aware about, and what are the real problems and the impact that they are causing for the community and the environment. So it might be a video, it might be publication, it might be an article, it might be a one-to-one meetings with persons, with the public officials, or the presidents of the companies as well. In addition to that, and another note, we can do partnership with the public sector and the private sector. By doing this partnership between the company or the social enterprise that we are doing and the public sector, we can do partnership on different level, and we can interact with each other on differently to have more impact on the community, where we can change, where we can exchange maybe volunteers, where we can exchange experience, where we can exchange a lot of knowledge that we can have better impact on the community. And in order to do this partnership, we need as well to build this trust between the social enterprise, the public sector, and the private sector, as well, to enhance the knowledge about the topics that we are serving and the topic that we are tackling. At the higher level, we can do action together. We can do projects together. We can have the impact together as the three sectors on one topic or one issue that we are trying to tackle it. In addition to that, I have one more note, is to maybe creating policies together with the private or the public sector as well, sharing ideas, doing projects, a lot of things that we can start within those sectors that we can prevent on the long term, on the long run, the negative impact that might caused by their implementation. Thank you.
Great, very nice, Omar. I think I agree a lot with your ideas. You know, I think maybe our generation has a little bit of this strongly, like this idea of partnership, that each actor has a role, right, in the society, and we should do this together. And I totally believe that trust is the first thing that we have to build, because we need to know that we are going, or we have to go in the same direction, so we can actually make changes, right? And no one can do it by yourself. So it's really nice, really nice. I think our talk is great. I think we have a question also from the public. They want to know, like, the question is, hi, we know there are difficult times, but I would like to know what are each of you doing differently in your projects compared to how you started with your social business. I think maybe you can add about how was the coronavirus impact in your organizations, if you want, briefly. Can you share a little bit about that with us, guys?
Yes, I want to start with that one. Remember I was telling you about technology is my new best friend? Okay. This is exactly what we are trying to do now. Our program, our life projection and job training programs are now 100% virtual. And this is helping us in a lot of ways, because before, as I was telling you, we had like big problems because of transportation and traffic and time and whatever. But now, and I have to say it was my mistake, because I was thinking all the time, no, this is not going to work. I need to see my mothers. I need to hug them. You know, we are Latin, so we love to hug a lot. Andrea can help me with that. And I was thinking, if I don't have that connection with my mothers, then this is not going to work. But no, not at all. Now we have this virtual program. So my volunteers, they are super excited with this because they have extra time to help us. We have lawyers now, psychologists, doctors, engineers, economists. We have a lot of people helping us with our virtual program. And my moms are all very excited with this because they can spend time with their babies. I mean, they can have like their baby with them in that moment while they are receiving their training program. So um, as I said before, coronavirus is an opportunity. You can see it like the worst thing for you, or you can see it like an opportunity. And I chose to see the opportunity in this moment.
Okay, so I can continue. In Maria Josefina, okay, so we work with really poor women here in Mexico. So they usually don't have access to smartphones and they don't have access to internet. So it was really hard for us because our work was totally like we had to go there, we had to work with them. But we work helping this woman to try to sell their talents in as a way to get like a constant or like yes constant income. So what we decided to do was to build a website. It is called De la Banqueta, and that means that it comes from people who used to sell in the streets. So all of our entrepreneurs now sell there, and we help them to improve their pictures. We keep making them part of the process of selling their products, because we don't buy all the flowers and try to sell them online. We are helping all the entrepreneurs to put their products there so they can stay at home. They can keep taking care of themselves because of coronavirus. But what has been like a really big challenge for us is like they get someone buys a product from them in the platform, and we have to go there and tell them, okay, so you have to produce this and this and this, and all the women start doing it, and I don't know, 3 days after we go for the products and we package them and everything to sell them. But it has been working. They have been earning income, and this helps them to stay away from the risk of suffering again domestic violence. So this is how we have been working now.
I can go next. Um, so one of the things that Green the Gene focuses on as an organization is to help people who are fleeing either from violence or who are displaced due to natural disasters to get access to sustainable emergency shelters. And this is we do this via a design innovation project that we've been developing. It's still in the super early stages, but with COVID-19, what we realized that it has deepened pre-existing vulnerabilities for over 70 million forcibly displaced people. And so while our on-ground operations obviously had to be stopped, and we couldn't have a lot of volunteers going to interact with people directly at this point, but we've continued to sort of focus and refocus our energies and our resources on building these solutions that are very targeted towards people who are displaced in these coronavirus times, to sort of help them break out of this cycle of survival mode living.
What we are doing now in Lebanon, as you know, we have this huge economic bad situation and deterioration in the economy. So we are serving the small businesses to survive and to continue their business. In addition to that, we are creating a virtual market to support them. We're trying to create a virtual market to support them so they can sell online and abroad, so they can have more income generation to their activities. And all our trainings due to the COVID-19 were went online on different tools. So we are trying to cope with this situation and try to support the community to cope with this situation, and then that they can continue their living even if the situation is that it is there, and that they can work around it to continue their life and to continue their living. Um, so this is in a nutshell what we are doing now and how we are supporting the community in Lebanon, at least.
Nice. Thank you, everyone. We are getting to the end of our talk, unfortunately. I know it's really interesting, but I think it would be nice, like, if we could end up with, your final remarks. But also, I know we have probably some young people watching us as well, and people who are entrepreneurs themselves, or maybe want to become a social entrepreneur. And I wanted to ask you also, like, if you want to say an advice to those who are in these positions in your final remarks. I think it would be a nice thing to close this. Can we go maybe also with the same order, like in alphabetic order, so just so we make it so it's easier?
Yes,
Andrea?
perfect. Okay, so as an advice, I think that I would tell them to find their cause, because you need to find that one thing of all the problems in the world that makes you feel so uncomfortable that you want to solve it as soon as possible. So I think that if you find your cause, this will encourage you every time something like not planned happens, such as coronavirus. And I would also tell them to focus in understanding the problem deeply, because otherwise maybe we or they can start trying to solve a problem that doesn't matter to the beneficiaries. And I remember I saw a TED talk from Ernesto Siroli, where he went someplace in Africa and he saw a really poor community and that was surrounded by a huge space that he thought that was like ideal for agriculture. So he decided to grow some plants so that they could have, like, they could harvest food to eat. And he used to think that why didn't they do this before? It is an excellent idea. So then, like, months after, he was back and he saw the hippos and other animals were eating all the plants that he grew. And that's when he got the answer. I mean, they didn't practice agriculture because of the animals, but he didn't listen to the people that he was working with. So I think that we have to listen to our beneficiaries and keep our mind open, because if we stick to the solution, we might we might not solve the problem we want. And I think that we have to build solutions that will eradicate the problem. I mean, even if that means our social business will disappear, because that should always be our goal. That no more, for me, it is that no more talented women live in poverty. So if Maria Josefina means that it is the solution for the women who live in poverty, I think that they need to focus on that, build solutions that will eradicate the problem.
So I'll actually build on the incredible advice that Andrea shared. Um, Fundamentally, it is super important, and I think one of the things that has enabled us to sort of drive the impact that we try and bring to the communities is to really understand the problem, but also the communities who you're solving this problem for. To be very deeply embedded with those communities and to work with them, not thinking of them as beneficiaries, but as partners in the solution that you're building. So if it's a great opportunity to work closely uh, with the people who you want to solve this problem for, and work with them to identify how you can best do it, how you can build solutions that truly address what is actually affecting them. And a second piece of advice that I can give based on my experience building Green the Gene, as we started with a very small nonprofit, is it's good to start small and then slowly build momentum. To drive meaningful change that lasts long and that actually impacts a lot of lives, that takes time. That's a slow, gradual process. And it's a very sort of uh, hard thing to sort of keep at, but it takes it is something that happens iteratively over time with a lot of intentionality as you slowly understand the problem, build solutions, deploy them, and scale them. So it's a great thing to, if you're starting small, that's a good thing. Use that as an opportunity to continue to build momentum and scale.
Okay, so I just have like one piece of advice, and is please don't stop. Don't stop. Trust me, I know about the struggle, and I'm sure that all of the people here know about struggle. But you're doing something beautiful. You're doing something different. You're thinking about how to improve the world we're living, how to change it in a positive way, of course. So don't stop. Just keep going. Think about, of course, about the impact, not just like the urgent things that we need to solve. No, think all the time about the long impact that you want to create in your social entrepreneurship. And I think that, of course, you're going to see a lot of problems. You're going to think about quitting, because I'm sure we all have think about that before. But you will see that you will find a way. If you are like focused in the impact you want to create, you will find a way. And that's the piece of advice I can share with you.
I guess most of the points the fellows were saying, they are very helpful tips and remind me a lot of all the things that I passed through. But definitely, as the fellows mentioned, that we need to focus on the people we are working with, and listen to them carefully. What are their needs and what they need in order to support them. Sometimes those people, they don't know how to express exactly what are their needs. So we need to listen very carefully and analyze what exactly they need, so we can support them by doing our social business. The second point is definitely we need to focus on our business model. We need to understand the market that we are working on. We need to understand who are our competitors and what is our product or service that we are serving the community with. The last point that I want to say is use your resources. We have, through the internet and the online community, we have a lot of resources available. Go and find them. You can find a lot of things that they can support your business. You can find mentors, you can find coaches, you can find support all over the world. It's not only in your surrounding or in your country. Go outside, go everywhere, go whatever you can go to get those resources to support your business and to grow your business. This is my tips for the social entrepreneur. Thank you.
Great advices from everyone. Really inspiring. I said that like 1 million times, but I think it is. I think we have so many problems growing and being reinforced in this moment. And we see, I think, in Brazil and probably in your countries, like very strongly the inequality growing and now the impacts that we'll have in the future. So I think if anyone is thinking about becoming a social entrepreneur, that this is the time to jump in, because we need people like trying to make change. And I think Yunus and Youth does a great job by like empowering and training, right, and helping us, supporting our journey. I think when Yunus, I don't know if you saw, like he did like a webinar one of those days, and he's talking a lot about how we have this opportunity now, as Maria said a lot about this opportunity, right? Like to change what the path that the world was going before the pandemic. So we don't need to go back to that same path. Like we can change that, and I'm sure we can do this all together with a lot of resilience and focus, as Omar and Madhab and like Andrea also said. It's not easy at all, but I think if we are together, we have a lot more chances to succeed. And I just wanted to thank you, all of you, like congratulations from your work. And to thank you as well, because I think this kind of talk gives us a lot of strength and energy to continue doing what we do, right? Because we are like doing each one our work, and it's a lot of work. It's very stressful. Sometimes it's lonely. But when we hear other people like in different countries, which is amazing, you know, doing this excellent job, is I think it gives us a more hope and more strength to continue doing what we do, right? So so thank you, Carolina. I think that's it. Thank you for the invitation again.
Thank you, everybody. A virtual clap to everyone. Thank you, Liz, for doing such a great job moderating this panel. We also want to thank the speakers. Thank you very much for sharing your wonderful insights. I think it's been super inspiring, and for our community specifically, and people that want to apply for the fellowship and young entrepreneurs. I think it's very inspiring to see how you guys are rethinking what you're doing and attacking the problem for very positive outlooks and seeing the opportunity that we can find in the midst of such uncertain and challenging times. So I think it's been wonderful to think and see what you guys are doing and how you are approaching life right now in the midst of the pandemic. So we want to thank you a lot for sharing what you're doing, for taking the time to come and join us. I'm sure we're all appreciating in the community to share these thoughts. As Liz was saying, you know, it's important to talk and to relate, and you know, being able to mirror yourself in the challenges that we're all facing at different levels in different parts of the world. So thank you everybody for that. We're going to have this video recorded, so it's going to stay in our YouTube channel so we can share with our people. I'm sure there's a lot of people that wanted to join, but for the time zones they couldn't. So this will be recorded and people can rewatch the webinar over here. Also, if anyone who's watching is also part of an organization that seeks to promote diversity and social entrepreneurship and would like to partner with us, feel free to contact us. You can follow us in every social media channel, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, so you can be updated on what we are doing. I want to thank the Y&Y team as well on the backstage that is, you know, planning this whole thing and making this work. And I want to invite you as well for the next webinar we're having. As you know, this is a webinar series that we're having throughout August. So our next webinar will be happening on Wednesday the 12th, and we're going to be talking about the role of youth in the new normal. So I invite everybody to join us as well. It will be at the same time on Wednesday the 12th, and we will be joined by other group of fellows that will talk about this specific topic. So we want to thank everybody. Thank you guys again for joining us and for giving us your time. And it's been great hearing from you. And we wish you a great Sunday. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.